Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. You know, everyone wants to be successful, right? But the thought of working tirelessly day in and day out can be an uphill challenge for some. And you see, because we inaccurately equate success with hard work. And while there is some truth in it, it's not always the case. You see, here's the secret. Some of the most successful people I know aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're smart about the way they approach their work and their life. And you may say to yourself, that's impossible. Wait a minute. I've got to put in 14-hour days, 7 days a week in order to have success in my life. And while I'm not saying you should quit working hard altogether, I'm saying there's more to success than just burning the midnight oil. I want to talk about some habits that successful people utilize to work smarter rather than harder. You know, Robin Leach had a TV show back in the 80s where he'd go to wealthy people's homes, he'd interview them, and he'd tour the properties, showing everybody the lavish lifestyle that these individuals lived. Well, I'm going to tell you, he was in an interview not too long ago, and I watched it, and I thought it was very interesting that he stated the wealthiest people that he had gone and visited, he had never seen working. And you might think, well, what the hell do these people do? Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing they do is they prioritize effectively. You know, I remember a time personally when I was juggling multiple tasks at once, feeling overwhelmed and stressed. You know what the result was? I ended up accomplishing less than what I had planned. Sound familiar? Well, I tell you what, successful people don't always just work hard, they work smart. They know how to prioritize their tasks effectively. They focus on what's important and what will bring the most value to their work and life. I mean, think about this. Instead of spending hours on a task that brings little value, they focus on tasks that bring substantial outcomes. You know, the habit is about being selective, so they're just not busy but productive. They never work hard just for the sake of working hard, and that makes all the difference. And they know when to say no. A few years back, a colleague of mine was always the first one in and the last one out of the office. She was always busy saying yes to every task that was thrown her way, but was she successful? I'm going to say not exactly, because here's the deal. At first, saying no can feel uncomfortable, almost as if you're letting people down. So saying no is difficult at first, but with time, it will become clear that setting these boundaries is not only beneficial for you, but also for those that you work with. You see, successful people understand that they can't do everything. They're not afraid to say no when necessary. They're not being selfish or lazy, but they understand their limits and capabilities. And remember, saying yes to everything means saying no to something else. It always does, right? So you're already in the habit of saying no, not only to yourself, but to other things in your life you want to do by saying yes to everybody else. And sometimes that something else could be more important that you're saying no to. So keep that in mind as you work forward. And successful people take breaks. While it might seem counterproductive, taking breaks can actually increase productivity and increase your creativity. You see, successful people don't just tolerate downtime, they actively seek it out and embrace it as a critical component of their success. They don't chain themselves to their desks for hours on end. Instead, they take regular breaks to recharge and refresh their minds. And this allows them to return to their tasks with renewed energy and a fresh perspective. And we used to take smoke breaks, but now that we understand smoking is not good for us and it can cause health issues down the road, you can still take a smoke break, but don't smoke. Go outside, get some fresh air for a minute, clear your mind, think about what's going on in your day. You know what you can do? Go outside, get some fresh air, do what I do. And that's get the old goal card out. This is the most important tool you can utilize for your overall success. Go outside, get some sun, breathe some fresh air, and read that goal card over and over again until you refocus your mind into a fresh state of excitement that will allow you to go back in and tackle your tasks with a new enthusiasm that's going to help you break through and have some additional success in your day. And I tell you what, another thing that successful people do, and we've talked about this in the past, they value relationships. And behind every successful person, there is a network of supporting and inspiring individuals usually. And these can be family, friends, mentors who provide advice, encouragement, and a listening ear in times of need. Sometimes we just need somebody to talk to, and it's good to go to somebody who supports us, understands our mission, what we're currently working on in our lives, so that we can share with them and get a fresh perspective on things. I tell you, it's easy to get siloed into one train of thought on a given topic, but talking to others will allow us to expand our horizons a little bit and get a different perspective on things. That way, when we re-engage into our activities of the day, we're looking at things from a different point of view. And that can always help. Because high achievers understand the importance of cultivating relationships. They invest time and energy into making meaningful connections, not because it's an obligation, but because they genuinely appreciate the role that individuals can play in their lives. And that all comes down to being able to give you fresh perspectives, maybe new ideas, maybe helping you in different ways that will get you there faster. And successful people always embrace failure. I will never forget my first major failure. I had poured my heart and soul into a project that ultimately flopped. And I'll tell you what, it was a crushing experience, but one that taught me a valuable lesson. People who excel don't see failure as the end of the world. In fact, they welcome it. They understand that failure is an integral part of a journey to success. And through these failures and tough moments, they learn the most. So instead of wallowing in self-pity, successful people dust themselves off, they get up, they learn from their mistakes, and they move forward with even more determination and resilience because they have an additional understanding that's going to allow them to avoid future pitfalls and continue down the appropriate path until they reach that all-encompassing goal or destination. And they understand that each failure brings them one step closer to that success. And they automate and delegate. I tell you, think about this. Take a look at the world's most accomplished entrepreneurs and CEOs. You'll notice that they don't spend their days bogged down by routine tasks. Instead, they've set up systems that handle the repetitive work for them. Whether it's automated billing, scheduled social media posts, or email filters that sort out your inbox, you can leverage technology to free up your most valuable asset, which, as we understand that to be, it's your time. You only get so much every day. Utilize it efficiently so that you can make the most of every day as you're working towards the success you want to achieve. And when automation isn't enough, then you can delegate to others. Successful people understand that their time is better spent on high-level strategy and creative thinking than laundry or cleaning the house. And it's funny, you may come to my home and see people doing things such as that, and I think the thought process behind that is they don't even clean their own home. They're lazy. They don't do anything. And it's not that, I get my car cleaned every week at a detail shop, so I don't have to deal with those tasks and activities. Here's why. I need to utilize my time to be effective around creativity, starting businesses, employing people, and being successful in that regard. My time every day is better utilized in business than it is in the day-to-day tasks of keeping up a home. I can hire people to come in and help me with that. That frees my mind. It also frees up my time, which is my most valuable asset, to focus on helping others and building a strategy that's going to continue the success of myself, also the success of my family. And by delegating, you're not only going to increase your overall efficiency, but you're also going to empower others by giving them responsibility and a chance to grow. You see, when people come in and assist you, they can learn from that task and they can carry forth that learning to their individual lives, and then they can independently begin to build a considerable amount of success for themselves. And one of the most important things about being a successful individual and working smart is managing your mindset. Successful people maintain a positive attitude. I once heard a quote that stuck with me. It said, "Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success." And if you love what you're doing, you will be successful. It's a mindset that many successful people share, including myself. Maintaining a positive attitude and seeing challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles will help you to understand that success is much more about attitude than it is about your individual effort. And as a successful person, you would invest in yourself. You see, this may not seem directly related to work, but it is a key habit nonetheless. Successful people prioritize self-improvement, investing time and resources into learning new skills, acquiring knowledge, and staying at the forefront of their industry. And I tell you what, they understand that investing in themselves is the best investment they can make. Because when you put good stuff into your supercomputer up here, the outcomes and the way that you approach different aspects of your life will completely change. And you know what? Sometimes if you want to change your life, all you got to do is change your life. And if you want different results, do different things. You want to do different things? Put different information into your mind. Because I tell you what, this is the control center right here, this thing on your shoulders. Where you are in life right now and everything you have is a direct result of the information that you've put into your mind. 100%. If you're a successful investor, you obviously understand investing. You put investment information up here, you know that. If you're a successful entrepreneur, you understand being an entrepreneur and all the knowledge and that's necessary to be a successful entrepreneur, you've put up here in your head. So those are the outcomes that you get. If you just sit on the couch and watch TV, well, look around at your life and figure out where you are and understand that maybe putting better information into your mind by reading 10 pages a day or reading a chapter of a book a day. A book that I recommend that I think everybody should read that's helped to change my perspective and put some additional good information into my mind is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I firmly believe this book can change your life on a dime. There's knowledge points in this book that equate to the actions of over 500 of the most successful people ever to live on planet Earth. Napoleon Hill went out as a charge from Andrew Carnegie to interview each of these 500 people. He gained the knowledge that they had utilized to become successful in their life, and he wrote it down in this book. So I'm going to say if Napoleon Hill interviewed 500 of the most successful people that ever existed on the earth, then he probably knows something that you and I don't. And he put it in this book. So if you read this book, that's some knowledge that you can garner, should be able to elevate your life and take you to the next level. I believe that. And you know what? I don't think you should read this book through just once. I think you should read it through a second time. Because I think when you read a book through the second time, you don't see something that wasn't in the book before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. It'll change everything for you. Invest in yourself. It's important. And set boundaries. An interesting fact that I came across, over the course of my life related to work-life balance was that accomplished individuals set clear boundaries between their work and their personal life. And I had a tough time doing this with my life when I first got out into the business world. I took everything personally and I thought my life was my work. So I equated the more work that I was doing to a greater success in life. But you need to understand the importance of rest and relaxation for overall productivity and success. You see, you need to understand when to switch off your mind and when to relax so that you can bring yourself to a successful place. And you need to understand when to switch off your emails and enjoy quality time with your loved ones. That's the successful place I'm talking about. Every time I go out, I see people hanging out with their families, and half of them are on a cell phone. That's not spending time with your family. And I'll tell you what, the better you are to your spouse and children, or to the ones you love the most, the more good will come into your life. And I don't understand why that works, but there is a magic in the world. That magic comes from the family, and it comes from caring about those that are closest to you. I don't know, but the more you do for those people and the more you care about them, for some reason, the more good and the better things that come into your life. Many call it karma, cause and effect. I don't know what it is. I just know that it works. And as a result, I love my family and care for them every day to the best of my ability, because I know by helping them to be successful, I'm taking myself to the next level as well. And it's 100% true. And one of the final things that I think is a really important habit to develop if you want to become successful and work less, but work smarter. And that's practicing gratitude. This one seems a little difficult at times, but it's an important habit nonetheless. I have noticed over the course of my life that successful people often take time to practice gratitude, acknowledging the good things in their life. That's part of that positive attitude too. You see, the simple habit of being in a state of gratitude can shift your perspective, increase your happiness, and ultimately, as a result, lead to greater success. You see, success flows not from a place of exertion, but from a series of purposeful actions and mindful decisions. And people need to understand that. You see, this shift in perspective could be the most rewarding step that you take towards creating a life where success comes naturally and without constant grind. Remember that habits like these don't mean that you should avoid hard work altogether. They're about working smart and making the most of your potential. We're not saying you don't have to work or that you don't ever have to work hard. We're just saying consider other options and consider smarter strategies that will allow you to plan your time and utilize your day-to-day, the time that you get each day, more effectively. It might make sense to rewatch this video, go back through some of the strategies and think about it. Which ones do you already identify with? Which ones are you already using day to day? You just may not consider. It may just be a unconscious competency where you just unconsciously do these things from day to day, and they've enhanced your life in different ways. I am telling you, you will become a conscious competent in time if you sit down, write out an effective strategy towards applying each of these individual habits to your day-to-day activity. You'll just change the way you react to situations. You'll be able to approach things in a different way, and in the end, it's going to help you to be more successful. You see, I care about you, I believe in you, and I know if anybody can do it, you can. Today's your day, friend. Step up. A lot of people wait until the new year to make a change. I'm telling you, the next year of your life begins today, because 1 year from today will have been 1 year. Don't wait till New Year's to make changes or consider recommendations for different ways to approach life. You know what? Make today your day. Get out a book, read 10 pages, spend time with your family, care for them. Think about different ways you can more effectively allocate your time as it relates not only to your day-to-day work, but to other aspects of your personal life as well. Success doesn't just correlate to work or money. Success is involved in our personal lives as well. And if anybody can do it, you can. I'll be back tomorrow with some really great stuff, friends. Hope you have a beautiful day. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life.